Samore Love Bugs. You have now tuned in to my Married to Medicine recap. Okay guys, so we are here. I know, got my little headscarf on, and so what? I'm tired, y'all. I was turned up yesterday, and today I didn't even know if I was gonna do this recap, but then I'm like, you know what, I actually really enjoy this show, so I really want to come and talk to whoever it is that actually watches, because I did notice this is one of the shows that I do that don't really get that many views, so sometimes it's kind of like, is it really worth talking about? But because I do enjoy watching this show, I don't mind. But Sisterhood of Hip Hop, I'm definitely just totally canceling that from my list of shows that I do, and I'm going to replace it with something most likely on Thursday, either Braxton's Family Values, or it's going to be cutting it into ATL, and I will decide most likely on Thursday, because I'm not even sure myself. I'm just kind of weighing it out and seeing which one I prefer. So I'll decide soon. Yeah, so let's just get right into it, right? It was an interesting episode. Next week, they look like they're gonna be torn up to the max, like some crazy stuff, but we're gonna talk about that at the end, y'all. All right. Oh, and yeah, today I was editing a lot for my other channel, so be sure to check that out. You know, I definitely put a lot of hard work into that channel. It's a lot more editing right here. It's usually pretty raw. It's like, unless I sneeze, not even sneeze, unless I like spit on myself or somebody came and started talking, I usually don't really edit much on this channel, but I do a lot of work on that one, so I definitely love you to check it out. It's called Samore Love TV. So now that we talked about that, all right, so Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie, we're just going to start off from there, because nothing else really caught my attention like that much before there. It was just like Dr. Heavenly and her daughter were talking. Her daughter is freaking hilarious. She gets it from her mom. She's like super sarcastic, just like her mother is. So anyways, Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie, they were kind of recapping what happened with Dr. Jackie and Toya when Cecil and Eugene tried to get them together. And she's like, you know, she doesn't really understand why she lets her get to her so badly. And she was even getting a little upset. I'm talking about Dr. Simone. She was getting a little upset that she felt like Jackie wasn't seeing her views and understanding, and she's like, if you don't understand, then there's nothing I can do to make you understand it. But then they kind of gotten a little further into it. I'm like, Jackie, girl, you should have been a freaking psychiatrist or a therapist or something, girl. You need to put that in. Was that your minor in college? Did you have that in your rotation? Because, girl, she was helping Dr. Simone out to kind of figure out things that she didn't even realize was making her the way she was. I think that definitely she could use some type of therapy. I mean, she gets attacked and she gets upset. But she gets upset to the point where if she really explodes or tries to fight, then it can be really bad for her career, and she can get a really bad lawsuit as well, because you know Toya will come for them pockets, honey. She may fight back too, but she gonna try to go for them pockets, because she gonna say that Dr. Simone hit her first, even if she's the one who started it all off. So anyways, so they kind of talk about Dr. Simone's father and how he used to be and currently is an alcoholic, and that's the reason why, because she feels like he doesn't take accountability for his actions and everything that he's done. Perhaps he wasn't a very good father. I mean, how good of a father could you be if you're an alcoholic, right? So it's all those things that are bottled up inside her, and she says that when she allows somebody to come into her circle or come into her life, she doesn't expect them to let her down, and it's hard to get into that little circle of hers. And once you do, and she really feels like you're a friend, it hurts her deeply that, one, she's not taking ownership of things that she did wrong, and two, that she was kind of like a fake friend. So those things I feel are weighing in it. I can totally relate to Dr. Simone, because I'm the same way. You know, I've had a lot of issues growing up with mother wasn't there, or, you know, wasn't fully there the way she should have been as a mother. I was adopted, didn't fit in, you know, all kind of things. And I don't really let people get too close. Like, you can be cool, we were friends, you know, you know, we're associates, whatever. But as far as me telling you all of my business, you know, you gotta come a little closer than that. You have to be like really tight knit. Like, as far as like real friends, I only consider a good maybe handful, maybe 2 handfuls, or a handful and a half, like real like besties type of thing. Everybody else is just, you know, like cool peoples or whatever, or people that I can hang out with, that I can have a good time with, but I wouldn't consider them to be like friends that'll be there ride or die to the very end, and I would tell you all of my business, and I would, you know, things like that. So yeah, Dr. Simone, she also, like, later on she talks to her husband after she's had this revelation with Dr. Jackie, and she kind of breaks down and starts crying, and Dr. Jackie was like, you know, it's hard to see her like that because she's not, this is a side that she doesn't see, the soft side. She doesn't usually see that. She usually sees this like outgoing, crazy person. And you know, it's crazy because when you're used to seeing somebody a certain way, when you see them fallen or broken, it's just like, wow, you know, it can rip you apart. It can really, because I can think of some of my friends that I'm so used to them always being strong people, always cursing, that if you see them shed a tear, it's like, I wouldn't even know how to react. I would just be like, oh my God, like, you're crying? You know, and it's not being insensitive, it's just, I'm not used to that. It's weird. I would have to like literally switch my brain and say, wait, okay, you're supposed to be comforting this person, or, you know, like that. So when Dr. Simone gets to see her husband later on, they do talk, and she apologizes for blowing up on him the way he did. He did kind of make a joke and say, well, one day I'm not going to take all these blowing ups anymore. And she was just like, well, you could pack your things and leave. But the funny thing about it is that, yes, they were joking, but a lot of truth can be said in jest. And a lot of times people use humor to kind of mask what they're really feeling, or they'll put it out there, but they're actually serious even though they're joking about it. It's kind of like a way to not make it seem so tense. It's all about the tone of your voice that can kind of soothe something and make it just seem like it's just something you're saying at the moment, but you never know. Hopefully, you know, that doesn't happen, because they seem like a pretty good couple, especially now since they've worked on issues that they were having last season. Toya, she goes to her friend Jill's house, and this person is like, she's a blonde, she's the husband of a plastic surgeon, so she's pretty. She's a pretty little blonde girl. She seems cool. She kind of says what's on her mind, like what she thinks. She kind of reminds me of like a Caucasian version of Toya in a way, because Toya says things that she shouldn't be saying, or that's, you can tell she's just, it's in her head, so she says it. And I think that Jill kind of does the same thing. But I think Jill does hold back just maybe a little bit more from what the scenes that we've seen so far. I think she holds back just a little bit more, but who knows, that may change. Because I think that she doesn't try to necessarily offend people, but she says it in the confessionals, but she doesn't necessarily say it to Toya's face. Like when Toya was saying that she wants to get a job, she's like, oh, you know, are you sure? And she's telling her the hard work behind having a job, and she's just like, yeah, maybe I could do like 2-3 hours or something. I'm like, girl, you just want to have a job to say that you got a job, because you're trying to work, you're just trying to keep busy. That's what you're trying to do. You need to go get yourself a, you know, I don't know. It just seems like she just wants to be busy. Like, I don't know. What do y'all think about that? I don't know. It's just that whole Toya, she was saying she feels like Toya is just going, she likes the idea of doing it, but actually doing it, she's probably not going to like it, most likely. When all the ladies meet up for this event that they're having to celebrate the fact that Lisa Nicole and Dr. Heavenly were honored on the Hers magazine, they all meet up and they're all gossiping and chit-chatting and talking. And Dr. Heavenly asks Jill right away if she's got a boob job, and she's like, first Jill gives this long explanation that is like totally unnecessary about how she had kids and they were droopy and this and that. I'm like, all of them had kids. What you trying to say? You trying to tell her? You trying to tell Dr. Heavenly on the low that her breast is a little droopy? You know, that's what it almost seemed like she was doing. So she tells her this whole long explanation, and then she finally is like, yeah, so they did add a little bit in there. I'm like, okay, you could have just said yes. That would have been all you needed to say. You don't have to justify and make reasons for why you had to do it. And then in the confessional, this is what I'm saying. In the confessional, that's where it seems like she tells all the truth. But you know, they ask them questions as well. But still, she's like, oh, with being that I'm a surgeon's wife, I'm a walking billboard, and I'm expected to be pretty much perfect is what they're expected to be, because it's like, your husband's a plastic surgeon and you look like that. I mean, just because your husband does it doesn't mean you have to be his little experiment. But it seems like most of the women that, well, the ones that I see on TV, most of them, they seem like just because their husbands are plastic surgeons, they want to be perfect. They want to be beautiful. And I guess because they trust their husband so much, they're like, yeah, I'll go under the knife for you, babe. I know that I'm in good hands, I guess. Are they even allowed to do their family? I don't even think, well, I think that it's unethical or something like that. There's a word that you use that when I was in medical back in the day, not even medical like doctor, as far as like nursing, that's what I was in. I've actually been kind of thinking about doing that again, but then I'm just like, it's not something that I really want to do, and I don't want to, it's like I want to have the knowledge, but I don't know if I actually want to practice as it. And then it's like, I feel like that would be a waste of money for something that I'm not sure if I actually want to practice as. It's like just to say that I'm a nurse, you know? Yeah, that's a waste of money. But anyways, back to this. I be going off. So they had like this great conversation, which I was totally here for, where Toya and Jill, they mentioned that they be going with their husbands to the strip club. And anybody who knows me knows, yes, honey, I goes to the strip club. And me and my mans would go to the strip club and have gone to the strip club many a time, you know, and I don't have any problem with it, you know. That's something I did for my birthday a few years ago. I was like, let's go, we out. And it was amazing, excellent. Yeah, gonna be like, this chick a freak. But yeah, you know, and I don't see any problem with it. Like, I guess if you're like totally straight, then you probably wouldn't want to do something like that. It'd probably seem a little odd. Or if you're extremely jealous, you'd be like, oh no, I don't want my man doing all of that. But if you're fun, you're energetic, you're open, and you don't have any issues, problems, and you're like looking at a nice nude booty, then, you know, why not? You're both gonna enjoy it, and then you go home and you work on your moves or whatever, the moves that you saw in the strip club. You can role play, you could do whatever, you know, and you just get all these amazing ideas. But Dr. Heavenly, she was just like, nah, I wouldn't. She's like, we just do dinner and stuff like that. And Lisa Nicole, she was just like on some next level. Like, it was a no. I'm like, girl, you sound like a lame-o. Like, she was just like, no, that's all, showing him to temptation. And this part had me rolling, because Toya was like, yeah, if I was you, I wouldn't want my husband to go to the strip club either. You know, because everybody knows about the cheating and stuff. And Lisa Nicole couldn't even say anything. She was just like, you know, she did this little face like, yeah, we all know my story, you know, those types of things. It was just hilarious to me. And then Dr. Heavenly, she calls her daddy over, and she asks him, like, baby, would you want to go to the strip club and watch some naked women? You know, she got that old lady voice, some naked women. And then he's like, yeah. He was like, go, and then you're gonna come back home. And, you know, you go, you get riled up, and you come back home to your honey. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. So then when the fellas get together, he tells them what the ladies were talking about, and Cecil, he was like, yeah, as long as you come back home, shouldn't be no problem with it. Oh yeah, I forgot, his wife, Dr. Simone, she was kind of like on the Lisa Nicole side, but I think it's because they talked to her first. If she would have, nah, but she is kind of a lame though. I'm not even gonna front. She probably would have said that, because I was gonna say maybe it's because she was talking to Lisa Nicole first. That's why she was like, If she would have been talking to Toya and Jill first, maybe she would have been like, oh yeah, I wouldn't got no problem with it. But then I remembered how their relationship was last season, so yeah, it probably wouldn't have gone down. So anyways, back to the fellas. The fellas were all together, and Darren looked like he was even scared to touch the topic. As soon as he heard strippers, he's like, He's like, I'm not putting my foot in my mouth this time around because he messed up last time in the cottage. He messed up, honey. So he was just there like, and then they're like, well, as long as you come home to your wife, that's the most important thing. You come home and you do what you got to do. And he was just like, you know, his teeth like just gleaming away, just smiling. And they're like, yeah, you come home. And he's just like he just totally checked out. He was just a standing mannequin standing there smiling. He looked ridiculous. And they're like, okay, well, maybe he doesn't know that you're supposed to come home. Like, what the hell? Like, what? All you had to do was agree. They're not saying anything bad, anything negative. You just look ridiculous. Like, he didn't even want to talk on the topic. That's how shook he was to offend his wife and I guess have that big argument again. I guess he's like, oh no, they might edit this wrong and make me look like a creepo. So, following that, the only other thing that we had seen was, oh yeah, Quad, she got some stuff, honey, on Lisa Nicole. We didn't show what it was, but it looked like it's about to go down. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't know what she got on her, but we all gonna find out. And then they showed the coming attractions for the next one. And let me tell you something, it looked like it's gonna be crazy because they were sitting down at the table. And then Lisa Nicole, she just was like, so what, so what? And she was like, her and Quad were arguing. And then she take her drink. I don't know if it was liquor. It was probably liquor. It was either liquor or it was water or something. But she take it and she dash it in the girl's face. And I was just like, yo, she was like, well, your career is ruined. Your career is over. And to be honest, that's not empowering anyone. She's probably going to come and publicly apologize to make herself, to vindicate herself from such a public display of nastiness. And hopefully she didn't try to hit her or anything like that. I guess we'll see what happens if they even show that, if she did. But Quad looked like she was all up in her face. Like, I know Quad wanted to beat her down, but she was probably thinking about it like, you know what? That's what she wants me to do so she can catch me with another case. But she's not gonna get it. I'm stronger than her. Alright guys, we're gonna end it right here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. Don't forget to share, rate, comment, all that stuff. And we're gonna get this popping. Let's go.